Child in Time had now grown to epic proportions, which allowed the band to stretch out far more than ever before. On stage, it had become a real tour de force, which provided a showcase for the extraordinary talents of 3 of the band members. First up was a remarkable vocal workout from Ian Gillan.
Sweet child in time, you'll see the line that's drawn between the good and the bad. See the blind man, he's shooting at the world. The bullets flying, they're taking toll.
Very much a showcase for Gillan. It's his opportunity to be fair, to do what he did do very well, which is be sometimes incredibly restrained, incredibly subtle, very gentle vocalist at times, and also gave him the opportunity to completely take the roof off the building and do probably untold damage to his vocal cords.
He actually always seems more comfortable when he's up there rather than when he's being cool. But it starts coolly enough, and then he goes into those screams that go from a C to a B to an A, and possibly high, which has prompted some people to think that he might have had the operation, but that's another story.
If you listen to Ian singing now, you tend to think of other people that he's influenced over the years. For example, Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. I'm sure that Bruce took a lot from listening to Gillan's version of Child in Time, which is, stretches the talents of most singers, any singer really, because it moves through lots of different moods.
It amazes me really that they don't just wheel him on for Child in Time, then wheel him off again as he's completely exhausted and bring on another vocalist.
Live, it just gave them an opportunity to show all their virtuoso skills at their best and, really go for it and probably goad each other on a little bit and, come on.
After a quick time change and the pace of the song lifts, John Lord comes to the fore with a trademark organ solo.
He was able to bring to a band that was essentially quite soul-y and bluesy this other side, this classical thing. So great technique, great ability to do classical type flourishes. So you'd have Roger and Ian, and he would do like a Bach piece of music.
To be a great Hammond organ player requires a particular kind of skill to work the drawbars, to see him changing the sounds and creating phasey effects just by moving the Hammond drawbars was mesmerising to watch.
You could never imagine Deep Purple with 2 guitar players and without keyboards. I think it's one of the things that you think of as being one of the band's main traits. You've got this classical jazz blues sound going on. I mean, he's not afraid to take solos himself, but he's also not afraid to hang back and kind of weave in and out of what Blackmore's doing.
His playing on Child in Time from Made in Japan, it remains for me his finest moment. Just great improvisation.
Performance was dramatic. I don't remember him sticking knives in his keyboard or anything like that, or setting fire to his keyboards or anything like that. But yes, dramatic, and he knew how to use the drama.
Child in Time reaches a crescendo as Ritchie Blackmore cuts in with the solo which has been used to launch some of the finest playing of his career.
I love the care he shows. The track is in E, and you can actually listen and you can hear him just tuning a flat string a couple of times, which he cared enough to think, I can't go on until that's in tune. So that is a great solo, but he just is one of the best ever. You know, it's just an astonishing speed merchant, but it wasn't all about speed. He took all of the techniques that Hendrix had, the feedback. He had a specially strengthened tremolo arm on his strap so that he could wreak havoc with it.
He was a brilliant guitar player and very innovative as well, introducing all kinds of special effects during his solos. You only have to listen to any Deep Purple performance and you hear the whole range of what Ritchie could offer.
He knew all the scales, he knew all the chromatic runs, he knew all the whole tone scales, everything you care to name, and he ran the whole gamut in a typical Blackmore solo. You could see all of his influences come through.
So if you listen, especially live, especially on you know, Made in Japan, he'll change the pickup tone. So he'll play a phrase, you know, with the back pickup, which is called the bridge pickup, you know. There's a marked difference between the two sounds. So, you know, he was into tone and sound as well. You know, it wasn't just his ability and the notes he was playing. And for me, you know, it was a real eye-opener. I thought, oh, right, oh, hang on a minute. It's not just about the notes you play. There's a whole other thing going on with your sound and, you know, what you can do with your guitar.
What was astonishing was he'd do one song and play this amazing 5-minute solo, and you'd think, that's it, he's used up all his ideas. And bugger me, he'd go into another song and there'd be a whole nother load of licks come through.
He had that blues bass, but he also, there's loads of folk, classical, jazz, there's loads of other stuff going on in there. And it made him different. He's distinctive. You're never going to confuse him with Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi. Blackmore's got his own thing. He's very aloof as a performer on stage as well, which meant obviously he had his critics, he had his detractors, but that's kind of part of what he does.